All right. Yes, we're live. It's Friday night, and I got Mike here. But hey, give us 30 seconds. Yes. Yes. Oh man. You got a special treat tonight. You got me and Mike. Mike is live remotely. He's been banned from coming over to my house. That's a true story. There's been rumors of substances and hookers, so he's not.
Oh, God.
Mike, I like it when you're here, man. I miss you, but it's so great to have you. Man, I love the shirt. The shirt is awesome.
Thank you.
The hat is awesome.
I love being here. You know that.
Oh man, I love having you here, man. Let's start off. I want to get your opinion. We didn't practice this, so I'm just getting an honest opinion here. I want to know what you think after watching last night's game. Your opinion of the Denver Broncos.
Far from my favorite team. Sorry, Denver. Dude, that was a dog. My gosh.
God.
Bezos had to be going, I paid for what? That was bad. My gosh.
So, for those of you who don't know, Amazon Prime, I tried to DVR the game, so the stream. So I waited until I started watching the game, I think 2 hours later, so I could, skip through the commercials. So after the game's over, they actually shut down the stream. You can't watch it. So I only saw up to the 2-minute warning in the first half. And then I was going to rewatch the game on the NFL Network. They rebroadcast it. And because the game went into overtime, I only got to see the last couple of minutes of the show. And I saw the very last play of overtime. And I was like, okay, maybe God did me a solid. And it's like, hey, hey, Dan, you don't need to watch this. You don't need to watch this.
Well, dude, the fans were leaving before overtime. Like, I can't watch anymore. I'm done. It was.
It's funny. Denver Gator sent me a clip. I haven't watched it yet. Worst loss in Broncos history. So Broncos. I by the way, I tried telling people this since June that this wasn't what you were getting, because I went down to Colorado several times this offseason, and they're like Super Bowl or bust, and I'm like, you guys are going to be disappointed. You're not getting what you think you're getting. You got a quarterback. Let me do this here. I'm going to go to the flip side, and I'm going to tell you everything that's good. All right, this is. I'm going to tell you everything that's good. When Russell Wilson beat the Broncos in the Super Bowl, right? He had a team in Seattle that's built very similarly to the team that Denver has right now. They didn't win because Russell Wilson was the quarterback. They won because they had a solid running game and a really, really good defense. And Russell Wilson managed the game. He didn't make mistakes. They simplified the offense. They did what he does best, and that's throw deep, play action, scramble around. But when you ask Russell Wilson to go back, read an NFL defense, and throw 50, 60 times a game, you're setting yourself up for a disaster. So
yeah, totally.
And there's a clip I saw where KJ Hamler, the play where he just threw his helmet down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's wide open. And folks, this has never been Russell Wilson's strength. Russell Wilson's never been a guy like Drew Brees or Mahomes or Tom Brady who goes back and just scans the defense, just ding, 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 ding. He's never been that guy. He's been the guy that when you got 3 free rushers, he spins around, runs away, and throws a a bomb. I mean, he's got a great deep ball. Phenomenal athlete. I mean, he's one of the few guys that could play, shortstop. I mean, there's talk about him playing shortstop.
Oh, he's a great baseball player. Yeah.
Yeah. He's not a guy.
Go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was going to say he's not a guy that you want throwing the ball 50, 60 times a game. He's never been that guy.
Well, that's what he wanted to do, but he has done it so long. Either A, he's lost it, or B, he never really had it. And that missing that, everybody's showing that one play. If he'd hit the slant, everybody's showing the guy when he's in the end zone. No, all you need was a first down.
Mm-hmm.
You hit him. By the time you hit him, he's crossing that line of scrimmage. That was the spot where you should have hit the guy. And he never even looked at him. It's just a bad look. One of the reporters said he was still in his locker with his pads on 40 minutes after the game, huddled up with Hackett. I don't know if it's going to make a difference.
I have a lot of, believe it or not, I have a lot of respect for the Broncos organization. And I've often said that they're run right, but this may be a situation where I really think that after the season's over, a lot of people are going to, you're going to see this all over the news, the Sean Payton sweepstakes. Every team that hires a head coach, is there a chance you know what, your guys getting this organic. Normally I send, hey, look, I'm going to ask you A, B, and C. I didn't do that today. So me and Mike are just boom.
Yeah. We got no prep today. Today was
no prep. That's on me.
Me too. I was busy with work.
So I'm throwing these questions at you organically. Is there any chance that the Broncos, after the season is over, are they entering the Sean Payton sweepstakes? Are they looking to replace Hackett after 1 year?
Possibly. There's precedent for this. What's a good one? Well, we had Urban Meyer gone fast. Who was it in Green Bay? Ray Rhodes?
Yeah, Ray Rhodes.
After 1 year.
Steve Wilkes in Arizona.
Yeah. I could see that if they don't turn it around during the season. Now, if they make some inroads and first-year head coach, go 9-8 or something, then I think they'll be happy. But you have that new ownership too, so it's kind of a wild card. They may want to clean with who hired him? Old ownership or new ownership?
The old ownership did. The old ownership hired him, and
so they have no loyalty. It's not their guy. Yeah, I think it's very possible because you paid, what was Wilson's contract, $245 million? Yeah, you ain't getting 240. You're not getting value for that.
I mean, I seriously, the biggest news after the season is going to be who's going to hire Sean Payton. And I
saw him the other day in an interview too.
Mm-hmm. I think Carolina, I think they're going to move on. They're going to move on after the bye.
From Matt Rule.
Even though the Jets won, I think Robert Saleh is a guy that's on the hot seat. And I keep in mind 2-2 right now. They're competitive.
I'm shocked.
And the reason why they won is because I bet against them. I have been ice cold on betting on football. Denver Gator, by the way, I'm going to release a video. The link's below in the description. Denver Gator's picking 75%. He's got a couple games. So I'm going to release that video. I'm going to try to do it later tonight. It may be Saturday. He's been red hot. I have been ice cold. So whatever I pick, you want to go the opposite.
Go against you.
And then Denver.
Hey, you want to feel better. So I was, I do fantasy football and just a free league. And I went to set my lineup Sunday. I was like, you know what? I think Josh Jacobs is set for a good game. I'm going to put Josh in the starting lineup.
Oh, smart move.
Well, it ends up we had a plumbing leak. My wife calls me. I'm like, okay, I got to do my lineup.
No.
And I go run, see the plumbing leak. I forgot to save. Had a career day, 144, 2 TDs.
Oh, God. So, the funny thing is the Raiders.
We're both striking out.
Yeah, the Raiders this offseason, they decided not to exercise that fifth-year option on Josh Jacobs. He's going to be a free agent. And
how he runs.
I've always liked the only thing preventing him from being a superstar is he doesn't have that deep speed. But 3 down back.
Yeah.
I would love him in an Andy Reid offense. I'm just saying. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think even though he's a running back, I think he's due for a big money here. I'm going to agree over to Jimmy. I'm going to talk about this, by the way. The over, because by the way, the over on this game is you know what? I'm going to skip to this one. The over is 45.5. Lions, Patriots, 45.5. The only thing, I haven't put a bet down on that yet. I haven't checked the weather report this time of the year in New England. But yeah, you're right. So y'all remember when everyone told me Russ was elite and I disagreed and took shit? Remember when everybody said all Denver needed was a decent QB and the weapons would shine, and I questioned it? No, yeah, you're right. I've been telling people it's not going to work because you got a first-time rookie head coach. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. Now, could Russell Wilson be elite in the right situation? Yeah, he could. This isn't it. So yeah. The only bet I'm considering is betting over on 6 wins now, and I'm not very encouraged to make. I would not make that bet. That's not a smart bet. And I'll tell you why. The Lions are one of those teams that I've been saying this. Like, I know you guys really like Dan Campbell. I like Dan Campbell, but it wouldn't surprise me if Aaron Glenn gets replaced. It wouldn't surprise me if this team wins 4 or 5 games, and you may want to move on after this season. I would not make that bet at all. You're 1-3 at this point, and your defense is terrible. I would not recommend making that bet, but they are easily the most entertaining team in the NFL. So Jimmy Fax, I think it's like 46 this week. Yeah, I'm using Barstool. I got 45.5, and I was so frustrated after going 0-2 on my bets that I took last week. I just decided Mike, you're gonna find it hard to believe I'm kind of an egotistical son of a bitch. So like I had a birthday week. I'm like one of those like over 30 women that have a birthday week. I'm that type of asshole. Yeah.
Box of wine and some rom-coms.
Yeah. You know, yeah, that's not far off. I watched some Netflix. I watched Last Chance U, the basketball series. If you haven't seen it, I didn't think I'd like it. It's really good. Me and Denver Gator were talking. I watched that Netflix movie, Don't Look Up, with Leonardo. I always get his name wrong. Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's right.
It by the way, it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. He A+ performance. Jonah Hill's in it. Meryl Streep plays the president. She's brilliant, by the way. Jennifer Lawrence is in it. Oh God, what's his name? One of my favorite actors. Sons of Anarchy played the dad, real tall guy. Ron Perlman.
Oh, Ron Perlman. Yeah.
He does like, well, he's featured like in the credits, but he's only in like, you know, almost a cameo, but he's what he does is great. Yeah, Don't Look Up. Cool. Phenomenal movie. I didn't think I would like it. Really, really good. Really, really good. So that's like my box of wine. I watched some yeah, I got behind on some stuff, and but like I said, I only watched the first half of Thursday Night Football because Amazon Prime is terrible. So
they're still doing some growing pains. They've gotten better over the weeks, but I haven't even tried DVRing it yet.
You can't. After the game's over, they shut down the stream. So
interesting.
Yeah, like I said, I only watched the first half, but it looks like I was blessed. How much money do you think is tied to Russ saying "Let's ride" at You should see the parodies. It's amazing. It's amazing. Grandmom Easy. Yes. By the way, I apologize. I was supposed to come out with a football 101 video. I did not do that this week. I'm going to have that coming out next week. I actually know I bought this easel, and I have a whiteboard, and the phrase "you get what you pay for" is evident because I bought like the cheapest easel on Amazon, and POS is very accurate. Like, this thing is junk. I might actually have to go to Hobby Lobby tomorrow and buy another one. I pulled this back further. I put the easel in where the chair is, and it didn't work out at all. The the whiteboard kept falling off. You'll if you see the easel, you'll see why. Like you get what you pay for. I should have spent a few extra bucks.
Well, we may have to we'll have to, maybe the two of us, and we'll have to set up a camera on the tripod and film it that way.
Well, okay, that's another thing is I have a tripod that I bought when my buddy was letting me use his camera to shoot videos. The camera that I have and the setup, like it didn't really work out. So what I'm going to have to do is shoot the 101 video with the whiteboard with my phone. I'll have to shoot it on the behind where my front door is. I'll set the camera up that way and have the whiteboard behind here, because the camera angle, like I'm like from here down, and then it goes blurry, not blurry. It was a disaster. But I do have a 101 video that I am making. I have the outline. I have some pictures. Basically what I was going to do is just break down the NFL play. So if you've never watched football before, you know what all the numbers mean. You know what the blue line, the yellow line. Somebody who had an idea for me doing a 101 video was like, what does it mean when a flag's on a play? And I was like, that's a good question. So I forget that people don't have my level of football knowledge. And I meant to come out video this week, but I did not. So, but I'm so happy that you're here, Grandma Measy.
Looking forward to it, man. That's going to be good.
Denver Gator says, I'm the artist known as Denver Gator, now Buffalo Gator. Listen, on Glenn, sure. Campbell, no. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. I've seen weirder things. So, as far as the 6 wins, I would not count on that if you're a Lions fan. And we've been saying this too. You're laying the foundation. You weren't planning on doing well this year. You were planning on using those 2 first-round picks next year to go after a quarterback. So that's kind of what you're seeing. Never see the Lions offenses. No, not since Barry Sanders was there.
Even then, half his plays were negative.
Oh God, that was a fun team to watch, though. Detroit Gator. that was, by the way, the Broncos defense and Lions offense would be a lot of fun. My buddy keeps telling me to watch it. Don't look up. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. I didn't think I would like it. Funk. I don't want to. I'm not going to go too much into it, but there's some. How do I say this without getting in trouble with YouTube? It's little left bias. You can tell there's some leftist views in there. Woman president, but Meryl Streep is phenomenal. She's amazing. It's a good movie. I was shocked. Amazing movie. I had to watch that movie in stages. I'm sorry to disagree, but I was bored halfway through it, but it got better. I watched part of it and I had to stop. I'm one of these people. I'm kind of, my mind just kind of, so I can't sit through 2 hours. It's like a 2.5 hour movie. So I did the same thing, but it really is very good. Very good movie. You do, you boo, your world is your pickle. You can get done. Yeah. I'm supposed to come out with like weekly videos, but next week I'm hopefully doing a 101 gambling video, 101 on football. Detroit Gator has a nice ring to it. So here's the deal. Me and him we did a video last night. We did his segment because Denver Gator's I'm telling you this right now. I've been doing a lot of research, looking up YouTube channels that do like sports betting. You're not going to find anybody with 75%. I'm telling you this. There's a lot of guys that are like, oh yeah, this week I got this game right, but they show you this after the games are over. What the video, I'm going to release it. I'm going to try to do it tonight. Worst case scenario, do it Saturday. But Denver Gators 75%, and our stuff's released before it comes out. And I also basically show you how to lose in sports betting, because I have been winning the last 3 weeks. You could not do any worse than I have. It's comical. It's comical.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Artist just
Right. He's the Madonna of the chat. Yeah.
Don't be surprised Lions go back to a 3-4. That would be smart. You know what? We're kind of just, I mean, we're only a quarter of the way through the season. So much can happen. We've seen teams, start off bad, 1-3. I've seen an 0-4 Chargers finish 11-5 and get to the playoffs. I think it was 94. No, 94. Bobby Ross was there in the 90s. There's been several teams that go 0-3 that have made the playoffs. It doesn't happen often.
No, but Chargers are doing Chargers too. Everybody's injured. So
Ronald Darby, I believe, is on IR. Garrett Bowles, the Broncos left tackle. The great story too. Great story, and player I really like. Yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of injuries, and basically, what the NFL comes down to, it's not who's the best team; it's really who's the healthiest. That's what it comes down to.
Well, let me ask you: is this because we're seeing a rash of injuries, everything way different? Mm-hmm. Is that because A, the turf, or B, because the NFL Players Association negotiated less practices in pads? They don't have the same conditioning, or is it a combination?
No, you're right. It's a combination. A lot of what, if you guys aren't aware, when the Chiefs played Arizona week 1, the Arizona Cardinals, what they do is they wheel in natural grass. It's kind of a neat, it's a neat theory, but the turf was really bad. So our kicker on the kickoff slid, and like his ankle went like this, and he's been out for several weeks. And so more and more teams are using that field turf, and they're trying to get creative and do this. It's causing injuries. But you're right, Mike. I mean, with the practices that are limited, the padded practices, the turf, there's a lot of injuries. Plus, you have an extra game, and I think we're going to see like injuries continue to go up, and it's really sad because like you're not getting a good product. I don't want to see second and third stringers in the playoffs, but you see it a lot. You see it a lot. I mean, we're kind of beating a dead horse here, but I mean, like Patrick Mahomes, did you know in the Super Bowl, I played 5 snaps at left tackle? Did you know that? No, okay, I'm exaggerating.
You have to bring up old wounds. Just keep picking at that scab.
I know. But Jimmy says, I don't think the Lions are going after a QB in the draft. I think Brad Holmes is committed to golf, perhaps to a fault. I think they do, and the reason why I say that it's if you don't have a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, you go and get one. And I think even though Goff's been playing good, I don't think he's top 10. And I think that what they're going to do is this offseason, they're going to say, when if we can get somebody younger, cheaper, and better. And you're not going to have 2 picks in 2024, but you're going to have it in 2023, and more than likely. You're probably going to have like somewhere in the 10s, like between 8 and 15, your team, and then the Rams pick's probably going to be, even though right now I think they're 2-2, more than likely you're going to have you have an early 10 pick, somewhere between 8 and 15, probably late teen, high 20 round pick in the Rams. You're going to use those picks for a quarterback. I would almost bet on it. So. And the thing is that, but Boston, that's the thing, is that you kind of want to get rid of Goff now when he's playing well. You see what I'm saying? You get some value in a trade here. I mean, when if Tua decides to retire, would Goff to Miami with some extra draft picks, maybe a player or two?
That's interesting. He's 27, so he's still got some good years left in him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I mean, the situation down in Houston, that's not ideal. Maybe you want to move on from Mills. Maybe you decide, hey, let's get a veteran in golf. Um, I mean, quarterbacks get injured all the time, unfortunately. What about Seattle? Let me ask you this here. What if Seattle calls and says, DK Metcalf and a first round pick? Do you say no?
Say bye.
Dan, what? It's stuff like this that's because.
Please spell it right.
By the way, this is why Mike's not allowed over anymore. This is why Mike's not allowed over anymore. So.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Seattle, we know their quarterback situation. It's just nuts. But Geno's balling well.
Yeah,
moving Goff on. Goff's still got a lot in the tank. He's playing well. But they have the most TDs in the league so far. Chiefs are number 2. The guy's making a good case, unlike somebody like Mecole Hardman, that, hey, give me a new contract.
After the season's over, okay, so you traded 2 number 1s for Stafford, right? You got 2 number 1s for Stafford. When, if you want to move on from Goff, what would you get in return?
Yeah, they're going to be loaded.
Remember, he was with the Rams for a while. It wouldn't surprise me if Pete Carroll, made a case. I now keep in mind, Geno Smith may prove that, he's the guy, but New Orleans, that's another team. They're going to roll out Dalton again. That's definitely not the long-term answer. Winston, they were banking on him. He can't stay healthy. You got to move on. But I just New York Giants. That's another team.
Giants.
Yeah. Slasher, yo, what's up, Dan? And our most humble guest. Yes. Slasher is very, very excited, and you should be. You should be, man. Jimmy, not only that, there's some defensive talent coming up, and I think that they throw more picks that way. I'm on board with the QB, but I don't know if they move up for one. There is some good defensive talent in this draft, and you guys, Mike can tell you, John Dorsey's pretty good at finding picks later in the draft. You don't have to use a first-round pick on a defensive player. You can get one in later rounds.
He's not the GM, though, so he's not calling that shot. So it depends on how much influence he has.
Justin Houston, he was a 3rd-round pick. Tyreek Hill, 5th-round pick. Travis Kelce, 3rd-round pick. The offensive line is garbage. And Andrew Whitworth, who I tried telling people, you can't just replace a guy like Andrew Whitworth. By the way, he's doing a great job on TV.
Very good.
Yeah, I love the guy. But man, you can't just. You need. I've said this so many times. You need 3 things to win a Super Bowl. You need a quarterback, you need a left tackle, and you need a pass rusher. I would say edge rusher, but if you have a guy like Aaron Donald or Chris Jones or somebody like that, sure. But you need a quarterback, you need a left tackle, and you need to find somebody to knock the quarterback on his ass. You got to have those 3 things in order to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, totally.
The Rams offensive line is just a complete disaster, Funk. You on the Stroud train? Yeah, he's going to be number 1. A guy I respect bet $1,000 on the kid out of Kentucky. I think his name's Will Levis, to be the number 1 pick in the draft. He got 40-1 odds, and then he made that bet, and it dropped down to like 25-1. Denver Gator told me he got injured, so he's probably not going to be number 1. So Stroud's almost a lock to be the number 1 guy. And think of how much. Let me ask you this here. You guys tell me how much fun would it be for an Ohio State quarterback to be the Detroit Lions quarterback? I would love that. There could be. Goff would be, yeah. Stroud, I'm gonna go over some of these games here. Now, because Mike, like I said, normally do some show prep. Normally I go over the numbers with him. So Mike's just getting an organic pick, and Mike's not really big into sports betting. Just FYI, Mike, if you download the Barstool app, I had all sorts of problems with it. Week 4.
Really?
It was a nightmare. I contacted tech support several times, and like customer grade service on a scale 1 to 10, it would be F minus minus. Like, did you try uninstalling the app? I got that 4 times, and I'm like, yeah, I did that before I contacted you. And then they're like, can you use another device? And it's like,
That's very tech support. Dude, I did support for the government, so you trust me. I know.
Yeah, I could not. I seriously, what the worst part is they actually emailed me the conversations. I thought about copying and pasting the responses I got and sending it to them, but they did send me that it's been fixed. I've been hesitant, but I do have a game that I like, but I'm gonna read you all these games here. Giants in London against the Packers. Technically, the Packers are the home team. Packers are a 8-point favorite. What's your opinion on the game, Mike?
I got to go with Packers. I mean, I hate betting against Aaron Rodgers. The guy is a gamer. He's on a big stage. They'll be the Furley game of the weekend.
It's the London game. It's going to be at 8:30 a.m. our time.
Yeah. That's because they're 6 hours ahead of us. So I really like them in that game.
You think they can cover 8? That's a big number.
That is, but I got to think he's going to be jacked up for that game.
No.
I'd say, yeah, in my opinion, yeah. I'm the fantasy guy, not the betting guy.
Yeah.
So
well,
it's easy for me to say.
I want to get like a non-biased opinion, but keep in mind, like I said, I have been ice cold. Denver Gators been red hot, but I wouldn't recommend betting an 8-point line. But I agree with Mike. I would not go against Aaron Rodgers. There was some talk on the NFL Network that the Giants, because they got off to the fast start, that they're the real deal. I don't buy it. I'm not. Don't buy the Giants. Yeah, Denver Gator, you're 100%. You're 100% right, man. 100% right. Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's a 10-point favorite. Mike, you like the Falcons, right?
You know what? I think it's kind of a toss-up. Tampa's not good right now. They're not playing well. Brady, if the rumors are true, Brady's got problems at home. That's in his head. He looks dejected on the sideline. 10-point favorite. I'd say take the under.
Yeah, and Atlanta's actually been playing a lot better. I think I'd be shocked if Tampa Bay didn't win this game, but I don't know if they cover 10. I didn't check the weather report, but the over-under is a low number, 46.5. It may be an interesting game to take a look at. By the way, normally at the beginning of the week, I check out all the weather reports. This week I did not. So when I release the video with the bets, I will check out the weather before I make any betting decisions. Chicago at Minnesota. Minnesota is the 7.5-point favorite. Over-under is 44, a very low number. Mike, what do you think, man?
Minnesota's weird. So Minnesota, they're playing well though. They got a better situation. Cousins is playing all right. Thielen, he's starting to use Thielen again, which was nice to see, especially since he's on my fantasy team. I'd go with Minnesota. I don't know if they'll cover, but I like Minnesota in that game.
Oh, that's kind of a game that I'm really interested in. The Bears offense, I think, is just a disaster. But God, that defense is good. I mean, it's a shame because we were talking about free agents. There's going to be so many free agents after a season. Josh Jacobs probably going free agent. oh God, I 34 minutes in, I'm drawing a freeze here. One of my Roquan Smith. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't think I don't think he wants to stay in Chicago. I mean, he came into the NFL with like no training camp. He single-handedly beat the Texans by himself, 18 tackles and a late interception to ice the game. I mean, just a monster. Why would he want to stay in Chicago after the runaround? The Bears may change their mind and open up their pocketbook, but I think that may be. I'm going to give you a crazy prediction right before the trade line. Don't be surprised if Roquan Smith is moved somewhere. Don't be surprised. Like a big trade. Don't be surprised.
That'd be interesting. They get a nice haul for him.
I mean, look. Here's my logic. Chicago is so terrible. Why not take your best player, who is Roquan Smith, get a bunch of draft picks, and rebuild? I mean, you got to do something because it's just a train wreck. It's a shame. If the G-men, Colts, Fins, and Sea Chickens want to go, yeah, seriously, Funk. Seriously, this could happen, and you could get with Miami because they got kind of a lot of players and they got a lot of young talent. I mean, seriously, there could be players involved. They can move on from remember Miami has like $200 million in just corner contracts alone. Remember they gave Byron Jones that 5-year, $81.5 million deal. Was it Xavier McDaniel? They gave him like $78.5 million. Then they drafted a quarter in the first round. Don't be surprised. Oh, I know. They wanted the backup quarterback. Kelsey in the third, was that any kind of a fine? That's later rough spot. He was said to go. Yeah. Well, okay. With Kelsey, it's a combination of things. Back when he was drafted in 2013, they were like, well, he's a good receiver. He can't block. And he went to the right place with the right coach. Cincinnati at the time, wasn't, nobody knew anything about him. I knew nothing about him when the draft was out. I was like, who the hell's this guy? I didn't have a YouTube channel in 2013, but trust me, I did a lot of draft research. And so I didn't know who the hell this guy was. So,
and now he can block.
Yeah. And, a guy like that, in the way the game is today and with tight ends being, tight ends in name only, he still would probably be a second, third round pick. But bottom line, John Dorsey had enough sense to pick a guy that not a lot of people knew about. Another thing is he got injured his rookie season. He didn't even play his rookie year. He tore his ACL like in training camp. And I remember at the time people were like, oh yeah, he's going to be involved. And I was like, no, he wasn't. He's a rookie, but I was wrong. I make mistakes every now and then. You need another edge rusher too. Maybe pick up a middle linebacker in free agency and keep. I always pronounce his name Anzalone. And Anzalone. Okay, Anzalone on the bench. I always want to call it Anzalone. Mike likes that. Yeah, and by the way, when the season's over, don't be surprised if Ben Johnson gets a head coach opportunity, not just in the NFL, but Arizona State is open, Wisconsin's open, Nebraska's open. There was another school that just another Power 5 school. So when you have this many major college programs looking for head coaches, that's another option where you have a coordinator. I've seen this happen before. You get a coordinator. It's like, by the way, college head coaches, Power 5 coaches make just as much as NFL coaches. So don't be surprised if Ben Johnson maybe wants to take over at Nebraska or Wisconsin. Seriously. And I mean, you could say, well, you want to stay in the NFL, 5-year, $60 million contract. Nebraska would cut that check out tomorrow. I'm telling you this right now. So, yeah. Kelsey in the third wasn't Uh, well, he was a third round pick, but I thought okay, when he was first drafted, a lot of people thought that this was a stretch, but ended up being a good pick.
Oh yeah, that's totally the opinion in town. It was.
Oh man, Keys, thanks, brother, man. I really appreciate that, man. I'm glad to have you on here, man. I've missed you the last couple of days. By the way, I don't have a link, but Keys is Back Talk Brothers. On my content to watch page, he is on there. They're doing their show Saturday night at midnight. And everybody who tunes in, Keys said that he's actually going to shave his head. He's jealous of my haircut. He's going to shave his head. So it's awesome. He's smart. He just can't handle the green dot. You can see him getting in that position. Okay, and anal zone. I get it. I get the hate the guy. I get it. Matter of fact, now let's do it right now. Detroit at New England. New England's a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 45.5. Mike, I don't know the exact number, but Detroit scored over 30 points every game this year. Is there a chance that like this is the game you get Patricia going against his old team? Is this where New England, comes back to life, or does Detroit, do what they've been doing?
Was it Patricia, a defensive coordinator, and now he's calling plays?
The rumor mill is that he's now on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he's like the de facto offensive coordinator without the title. Detroit's playing well. It's going to be a grudge match. They're going to want revenge on Patricia.
Now, keep in mind, we're still okay. As I'm making this, we don't know who the Patriots quarterback is. That's
right.
It could be Zap, the Western Kentucky. By the way, I think Funk was really high on this kid, so I'm going to give Funk a lot of credit. I think Funk, am I quoting you right? I like this kid coming out. For those of you who don't know, he threw for I'm going to quote you almost the exact number. It was 78 gazillion yards in college. It was an exact number. I'm almost, it was something crazy. Like his senior year, it was like 6,000 yards or something stupid. But natural passer, not like an NFL arm. He's one of those guys.
Yeah. I'd take Detroit.
Oh man,
that's Buddy. What he thinks,
man. So you heard it live. Boofa says bet your life savings on Detroit this week. You heard it live. You heard it. Seriously, Jimmy, man, I'm so glad you're here too. No, I like the over. I haven't checked the weather report. If the weather's clear, I'll probably put the action on the over. When I come out with my bet video, make sure you check that out. So I hope so too. So Roquan can come to Detroit, but I'd want to give up a late day 2, day 3 pick, give him a pair of 3s and pairs of 4s or something. Well, I seriously would not be surprised if before the trade deadline comes around that he moves. Like that's kind of my bold prediction, my hot take, my Skip Bayless moment. But if in that situation, there's no way in hell he'd go to a division team. No way.
No, not on a midseason trade.
Now, here's the deal. If you're going to trade a guy in the division, you got to get kind of above market value. So you're not going to get something like that. But, seriously, like before the season, Funk, I was talking about why not, if you're Detroit, why not make this move? And I thought it made a lot more sense for Detroit. And I thought Detroit might want to overpay. And right now I'm looking right. Like maybe you should have tried to overpay and get a guy like Roquan Smith to help that dumpster fire of a defense you got. See, if I'm Detroit, I'd want to overpay for Roquan Smith. I wouldn't try to lowball. I would just be like, what do you guys want? And I would give whatever you want, because a guy like that will be a big deal. That's why if I'm Chicago, I try to trade him now. try to get something because I really don't think he'll sign with Chicago. So
Now, is his value hurt though? Because Chicago is the worst team against the run. He's a
that's a possibility, but I don't think so. That game he had against the Houston Texans, where he had 18 tackles and then the fourth quarter interception that won the game, I think that iced it. But if I'm the Bears, I try to make a move now and just try to build up because what's the ceiling that Chicago can do this year? I mean, what's like the best they can do? 7? Like the ball bounce.
maybe.
I mean, seriously, like what's they got 2 wins now. Like I'm serious. I think the Bears are going to be like a 3-4 win team. So let's say you want to stick with Fields as your quarterback, right? So you have Fields. That's it. So why not try to rebuild now? So
Yeah.
Yeah, Chargers is
You get injured in San Diego, just get off the plane.
Oh God! Did you know? Okay, the team doctor who injured what's the quarterback?
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay, yeah. So he's still the team doctor with the Chargers.
What?
Yes, he's still yeah. So Tyrod Taylor is actually suing the doctor, and I think the Players Association's not letting him sue the NFL, but he's suing the doctor. And so like I didn't know. I just found this out. The doctor is still with the Chargers organization, and the Chargers have a bunch of injuries. So
check them all for punctured lungs.
I mean, hey, look, every year, Mike. Listen, I've been saying this. People don't listen to me. Can you please tell everybody who's watching what happens every year with the Chargers? What does everybody say?
They always get injured. They're always signing offensive linemen off the street to start because you go to San Diego, you're gonna get injured. And every year they're always predicted they're gonna win the AFC, they're gonna knock the Chiefs off. They're always a Super Bowl favorite because the West Coast media is always pumping them up. And guess what? They're a dumpster fire. Not quite that bad. They got a lot of talent, but it never comes together. Ever. And then half the team's on the IR, and you got scrubs starting.
I mean,
so just go out there, enjoy the game, get some good fish tacos, but don't expect them to win the Super Bowl.
I couldn't agree with you more, and we hear this every single year.
Oh God! Well, yeah, because we're in the AFC West, so we get inundated with that garbage all the time, and we all sit here like, yeah, okay, whatever. We got Reed, we got Mahomes. I feel pretty safe. But that is an interesting thing because this was going to be the big arms race this year in the AFC West.
Oh, yeah.
With Herbert, you got Devontae Adams coming into the Raiders, Russell Wilson, and it's the same old.
Keys brings up a great point here. Some of us said the Broncos just needed a quarterback and mentioned that swapping out the coaching. Yeah, you couldn't have said any better, Keys, because I've said this many, many times. If you put Russell Wilson on last year's Broncos team, they go to the playoffs. But you had an experienced coaching staff. You bring in a brand new coaching staff, a guy who's never been a head coach, a guy who's never been an offense coordinator, a guy who's never been a defensive coordinator. Defense looks good. And people are shocked that they're not winning. I mean, you can't bring in a bunch of new players with a brand new coaching staff and just and you know what it is that too many people play fucking Madden. Too many people play Madden and like, oh, it worked in Madden. I moved my right tackle over to the left side and it worked in Madden. So, that's what it is. I still expect Russ, Carr, Ryan to get better ones. I've said this all off season and everybody says I'm nuts. That the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West is the Raiders. And I watched them play a couple games. I know they're 1-3. That's a good team. They got some good pieces in play. And Derek Carr, once he gets things down, I think it's going to be really dangerous. Mike, am I on crack?
No, I like Carr. Andy Reid liked Carr. He was almost a Chiefs quarterback.
Yeah.
I think once him and Devontae get on the same page, the problem with them, and I'm convinced of it, is I don't trust McDaniels. He's got all that street cred from being with the Patriots. I wasn't impressed with him in Denver, and I don't think he's improved any. The best he ever did was with who was the quarterback? Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
Other than that, he hasn't been good. So I'm not expecting a lot from the coaching staff. I like Carr, but I don't like the coaching staff.
Yeah, I think the Raiders could get things turned around, but hopefully
they
not.
They could.
Not this week. Not this week.
No, I mean, maybe he's learned from his mistakes and maybe he gets it together, but he's got to get Devontae and Carr on the same page or they're not going anywhere.
I like a TD. You know what? I do too, Jimmy. Jimmy, if you place that bet, let me know the numbers that you're getting. And by the way, all my social media links are below. If you don't follow me, hit me up if you make that bet. Denver, Detroit, 500 yards. Yeah, the defense is good. Western Kentucky, 200. Yeah. It was something just stupid, ridiculous. I know I'm holding my. Yeah, do not. Yeah, this year's free agent class and the draft class is really good. I'm telling you right now, don't be surprised if you have like between 10 and 12 new starters in Detroit next year. Okay, amazement. This is funny. So last night I'm doing a video. We're right in the middle of doing it with Denver Gator. My whole computer has this it goes and immediately reboots. And so what it is, I put notes on the notepad. I had all your picks last week on a notepad, deleted all of them. So I was gonna bring up how you did last week, and but everything deleted. So I have no idea. But let's take a look at here. You like the Pats -3. That's going to be an interesting one. Are you aware that Zapp may be the quarterback? Bucks -9. I see 10. I really don't like that one. I'll be honest. I haven't got to Steelers yet and the Niners, but do me a favor because we're gonna go through some of these games here, me and Mike. So yes. Let me talk about these first. Let's get Mike's opinions and let's touch base on those. But I like that. Carr's very good. Chances Chris Conley gets elevated from the Chiefs practice squad at some point this season. I think his skill set fits this offense better than Owe. Absolutely. For those of you who don't know, Chris Conley bounced around in the NFL for a while. He was the third round pick coming out of Georgia, a player I absolutely loved. Came to the Chiefs, didn't do very well. Went to Jacksonville, Houston, and he just got signed with Kansas City. Little fun fact here. I'm going to rant a little bit about Conley. Really love this kid. A lot of NFL teams didn't like him because when he was at the University of Georgia, he used his scholarship and got a degree in film, something like that. Anyway, he wants to make movies after his NFL career, and he has like a production company, and he made like in college like a Star Wars spoof, and it actually wasn't that bad. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Oh yeah, no, it's better than anything come out of Disney Star Wars. He did like a little fan film. I think it was a senior project or something. Yeah. And it was better than anything that's come from Disney.
Oh God,
real nice guy. Everybody loves him. Didn't do much here. He's not that talented as a wide receiver. He is a larger body in the red zone, so that is kind of nice. I guarantee he'll get elevated at some point from the season. I can almost guarantee that. Will he make an impact? I seriously doubt it. There's much better options on the team currently. He's kind of insurance, and I'm fine with it. Everybody loves him. He's a good guy, good clubhouse guy. So, yeah, that's what I think.
He was a really interesting story because I loved him at Georgia. And what happened was he was supposed to be like a 7th round draft pick, went to the combine, blew it up. All right, so you mentioned you didn't. All right, listen to this. I'm going off memory, so it may not be right. At the combine, he ran a 4.35, phenomenal time, faster than Jamal Charles. Had a 45-inch vertical, one of the best. Actually, it was best among receivers. I never saw athleticism. No, when you run he ran a faster 40 time than Jamal Charles, and this guy
was insane.
Yeah. And no separation in the NFL. I mean, if you would have told me he ran a 4.65, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, he played like that at Georgia. He played like a 4.6 guy at Georgia, not a 4.35.
He just had that great day and upped his pay, which is great for him. But yeah, we never saw that kind of talent at all. Which makes me wonder. The Chiefs have had a history, especially since Reed has been here, with wide receivers not getting good separation. And it makes me wonder, they really got to look. They're never going to do it because it's always a good old boy network. But you really got to look at how you're approaching the coaching of the wide receivers. But I digress. We're on other teams right now.
But it's just you nailed it. And I kind of when we do when we talk about the draft, we're going to come back because here's the deal: this guy was supposed to be like a 6th, 7th round pick, an undrafted free agent. Had that day at the combine, made literally millions of dollars, and his film study and that was Kansas City looked at that as a plus. They liked his intelligence. But a lot of teams were turned off by the fact that the guy has an interest other than football. It was kind of interesting how certain teams value certain things. The Chiefs loved his intelligence. A lot of teams were turned off by the fact that he was using his brain and wanting to do something after football. So,
right. Yeah. The guy has a good head on his shoulders. Great guy. Glad to see him back. Don't expect anything from it.
Yeah, no joke. Like we were right in the middle, and then like it was really weird. It was really weird. Here, Mike. Some more games here. Houston at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a 7-point favorite. I have not checked the weather report. The over under is 43.5. What is your opinion here?
Well, Jags are playing well. Although they got a little turnover problem down there. So that's the surprising thing. How many times do you turn it over that much and still win the game? I don't know. I don't know if I've ever seen that. Just looking at the injury report now. Texans are a little more banged up. Jaguars are pretty healthy. Where's that game in Jacksonville?
It's in Jacksonville. I haven't checked the weather report. I thought 43.5 was an interesting number.
That is.
I was leaning towards the over. I got burned last week picking Houston and the Chargers under and ended up being, I think it was 38-28 shootout. And so I was thinking about overcompensating and going with the over this week. I haven't checked the weather report in Jacksonville, but so you like Jacksonville? Are you on board with more of a high scoring game than the odds makers like, or?
Yeah, I'd say take in my opinion, the over. Most of the injuries are on defense too, so I could see it really getting a little out of hand. Yeah, I think I would take the over and take Jacksonville home because they're pretty evenly matched.
I could see that. I was leaning towards hoping Houston would get their first win of the year because I have action on Houston over 3.5, 4.5, and 5.5 wins. And
right, I remember that.
Yeah, I was hoping, but I'm kind of with you. Jacksonville's kind of been a pleasant surprise. This is a game I want to get your opinion on, Mike. Chargers at Cleveland. Cleveland's a 2.5-point home dog. I checked the weather report. This is, by the way, the over-under last night was 48.5. Now it's 47. It's a 15-mile-an-hour wind, but the weather is supposed to be nice, but it is windy. I say this a lot. NFL games are not affected by rain or snow, but wind will kill it, and people are paying attention to that. This dropped 1.5 points overnight. But forget the over-unders. I went in, and let me ask you this. Chargers, 2.5-point favorite at Cleveland.
At Cleveland, man, and it's windy. Ugh. Man, that's going to be a huge advantage. That could be big for Cleveland because they got the running game everybody's jealous of their running game. You and I are very familiar with Kareem Hunt and
Mhm.
running angry, which I love how he runs. That's a tight one. I'm going to call that one a coin flip.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think on that one.
I really like Cleveland at home. I think that being a 2.5 point dog is a good
It's not
one.
much.
No,
Yeah.
no.
And they got the much better running game. And it gets
Absolutely.
windy. That's an advantage for them.
I really
Have some trouble.
I think that Cleveland is kind of this is a solid upset pick here. I kind of like this one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm with you. Yeah.
Miami at the Jets. Jets are a 3-point home dog. Over under is 45. I think the weather is okay in New York. I have to double check on that. But let me see here, Mike. Let me ask you this here.
Yeah.
The Jets are 2-2 for like the first time in forever. They look like they're decent.
Our lifetime.
Yeah. It's been a long time since the Jets have been in. Right. Miami, of course, lost Thursday night. They're going to be without Tua. They're going to go with Bridgewater. They're 3-1. Which one of because the winner of this game is a legitimate threat. I mean, the Jets at 3-2. I can't believe I'm saying this. The Jets are a legitimate threat at 3-2, but they would be 3-2. Right. Or Miami at 4-1 with a win against Buffalo is I mean, man, man, the floor is yours, man.
It's tricky. This is a trap game. You got a banged up Tyreek who hasn't been practicing. Waddle's banged up. Tua's out. So for the Jets to face him now it's kind of a perfect storm for the Jets because they are banged the heck up. They're like San Diego banged up right now. This is tough. I could see the upset. I could see the Jets pulling it out because they're so banged up and they're feeling confident. So you know what? I'm gonna take the Jets for one.
All right.
You'll bite me in the rear, but I'll take the Jets.
All right. So Mike says that you've heard it live. Mike said, "Take your life savings, bet on the Jets. Bet on the Jets." That's what Mike says. All right, and that's a tough one.
Right. This Miami's so banged up too.
The winner of this game, if it's the Jets, look at the AFC East. You're going to have a 3-win Jets team, a 3-win Dolphins team, and you got the Bills who that's the next game we're going to come over. Next game we're going to go over. The Bills could be 3-2 or 4-1. We're going to touch base. I'm going to get some of these comments, and then I'm going to talk about the Bills in some detail. All this porn viruses likely DJ. This is, by the way, Keith, this is why Mike's not allowed over anymore. Amazement. I was predicting Tampa by double digits at home. Yeah. I mean, I don't think so. I think the Falcons are playing better ball. Mariota's playing better, but that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah.
If Godwin and Jones is healthy, it should really elevate. Yeah, Tampa Bay injuries is really bad. Brady doesn't look the same. The offensive line's not in good shape. Keys nailed this where he said that you take a quarterback who's not mobile, his Pro Bowl center's out for the year. It's going to cause more problems than you think. So, sound like Godwin should be healthy. You know what? I apologize, Jimmy. I didn't have a chance to look at the injury report. I don't think he's healthy. If he does play, he's not going to be 100%. So, Cliff, what's up, brother? Yeah, you're Jags, man. But everybody's pulling for Houston to win this week. Everybody, because I have money on Houston. Smash or pass. Mike, we get crazy. Okay, you know what? I don't know who this is.
Me either.
Carissa. Okay, I have no idea who this is. Okay, so One Pride. If I put Carissa Thompson in my computer, is it a porn site? Is this a transformer?
I won't look it up till I'm on the VPN.
Okay. Okay. So she's a Fox News. Okay. she's one of these girls that does football who's attractive and okay. So anyway, I'm looking at her now. God, how do I say this politely? Because yeah, I got a Grandma Measy well, I think she stepped away. So okay, so all right, here's the deal. Okay, I like 20 somethings. All right, I like younger girls. That's me. Would I smash? Hell yeah. Would I be like trying to date somebody who's like she gets the vibe that she's a um God, yeah, but just smash or smash. Yeah, I did it.
You're on your own on this one.
Yeah, Jags may win. They quit. Dead serious right now today. Jaguars would probably be my favorite. If they win, they're going to be 3-2. They're going to be 3-2. Tennessee's a tough one, but the Colts, even though they won, they do not look good. They do not look good. It's funny. Everybody talked about Denver, but let's look at it this way. You won at Denver without your best player. Are they getting any credit? No. But that's exactly what happened. They won
without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah. At Mile High, that's been a traditional tough place. If you're not familiar with Denver, that Mile High air is not an easy win. I mean, it's tough when you're not used to that stuff to perform. And in overtime game, Colts not getting nearly enough credit. Do I think they're a good team? No, but they're 2-1, and they get 10 days to get their best player ready to roll. So, but you're right. Jags may win the division.
Their record's flukish. Chiefs sleepwalked through that game with them, and then last night, by all accounts, you look at what they did on the field and look at the stats. They shouldn't have won that game. It's just flukish. That's how bad Denver was.
It's a terrible team. Now, I want to talk about this game in a little more detail. And I'm really kind of want to focus on this one. Pittsburgh at Buffalo. Pittsburgh's going to start the rookie quarterback in Buffalo. Buffalo is a 14-point favorite. The over/under is 45.5. Now, Mike, I kind of want to. I have a point that I want to make about this game, but before I reveal my point, I want to hear what your opinion is here. Does Buffalo just win by 50 this week, or is this going to be an interesting game?
I think it'll be a little more interesting than that. Pittsburgh, for all their faults, always plays solid D. They'll get up for the game, especially when the people push their back against the wall. And I think, even though the Roonies don't like to change coaches that much, they haven't won a playoff game in 10 plus years?
Something like that.
Tomlin's turned into the Marty Schottenheimer of the era. It's always good, decent record, but never wins a playoff game. I think he might be starting to sense some heat. I expect him to come jacked up and ready to play. Now, Pickett didn't play bad. He ran for 2 TDs. He gives them an element they haven't had for a while, of a mobile quarterback. I don't think it's a huge blowout. I'd still pick Buffalo. I've liked how Buffalo's been built for years now. I'm taking Buffalo.
Well, you nailed it, because I actually I'm tempted to take action on Pittsburgh. And the one thing that I'm going to throw out that is Buffalo leapfrogging this game, because next week everybody has that game circled where Buffalo comes to Arrowhead. Is there a chance that Buffalo is overlooking a rookie quarterback, a 2-touchdown favorite? Are they because if you're a Buffalo Bills player, you got week 6 circled. Like
right.
The NFL schedule came out. And for those of you who don't know, week 6, Buffalo comes to Arrowhead. That's going to be, every single Bills player has that Arrowhead game circled on their calendar. So are they overlooking this? And everything Mike said is correct. I may put action on Pittsburgh. Do I think they win? No. Or do I think they cover 14? Yes. And so
yeah. I expect it to be a lot closer. This could end up being like the Chiefs Indianapolis game. Who knows?
Never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a game I may put action on. Like I said, I was having all sorts of issues, but yeah, Keys, you're 100% correct. I don't know if I should admit this, but I thought Urban Meyer would work in Jacksonville. I really did. I thought that this would be a good move for Urban Meyer, who was flirting with coming back to the NFL for several years. I thought the way the team was built, the coaching staff he had in play, I thought it would work, and it was a complete disaster. Peterson is winning with Urban's players. I'm going to be honest. I think that everything's going to come to a head. I think Jacksonville's. I think they're going to kind of fall off. I don't think that they're going to win the division. I really don't. I really don't. But it's a great story, and they're playing great right now. But I think things are going to like come around. So yeah. Yes, I did see it, man. I did see it. I apologize because right off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank. Okay, yeah. So what it is in Detroit, they're just basically they're double teaming Hutchinson, and people are trying to go back and forth with like, is Hutchinson good, is Hutchinson bad? No, Hutchinson's fine. He's a high effort player. He's never going to be the guy who gets 15 sacks in a season, but he helps against the run. And yeah, and this is why I was so against Detroit trading up for a wide receiver, is that they really needed to booster their roster. And Dorsey's the type of guy who can get guys in the second, third, and fourth round. So get more draft picks, not less draft picks. So yeah, my last girlfriend was very young, and she loved Mike. Like, she loved Buffa. Nobody knows why, Mike. But yeah,
I don't know. I want to quote The Godfather. You know, here comes Johnny Fontaine with his olive oil voice and his guinea charm. You know?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, my last girlfriend, she talked about Mike all the time. I was like, I don't want to hear about it. Yeah, but yeah. Everybody pretend you're Dan, and the like button is a young girl or Katy Perry, and smash. Oh man, thanks, Geese. Yeah. Smash the like button. By the way, I'm almost at 800 subscribers, so please share this video. Help me get to 800. It'd mean a lot to me. No, he definitely wasn't worth it because he didn't get separation. Kenny Galladay? No. Yeah, that's a disaster. It's kind of funny because New York, they're 3-1. But they've had a lot of like really bad decisions. And then this offseason, they have to figure out what to do at quarterback, what to do with Galladay. I mean, there's so many questions in New York. And it's funny because like nobody's talking about it because right now they're 3-1. Later on down the season, when they're like, 5-6 or 5-7, all these questions are going to come out. But yeah. Slasher, it doesn't make any sense either. Dude's only, okay, well, yeah. Poyer and Knox being out, dude. I'm the more and more I think about this Pittsburgh Buffalo game, the more and more I like Pittsburgh to cover. That's kind of why I wanted to get Mike's opinion on it. And keep in mind, I really firmly, I have no idea. I mean, I'm not in the locker room, but I have to believe that every single Bills player has that Chiefs game circled. Like, I have to believe that. I mean, there's no way that you're going to tell me Josh Allen didn't pull out the schedule and go, all these games are the same. No, he looked, okay, Kansas City. Yeah, I really like that. Yeah. I heard, where you heard that from, Cliff? Me. I said that. I've been saying it for a long time. Yeah, and it's now coming out. Nebraska's trying to make a big splash. And for those of you that don't know, Nebraska, they spend a lot of money on their football program. And there was a time where if you won 9 games at Nebraska, that meant you got fired. Now they would murder people for nine wins. So Urban Meyer, it's a big name. We talked about Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator for Detroit. Could he go to Nebraska and get $10 million a year? Probably. there's going to be some coordinators that are NFL guys that have never coached in college that are going to get some offers, and it wouldn't surprise me. I don't remember a time where, I mean, it's early October and Arizona State's available, Nebraska's available, Wisconsin's available. There's another Power 5 school I'm completely forgetting. I don't remember a time where there's this many big time college jobs available. And I mean, these are jobs that can get you between 8 to 10 million a year. I mean, that Arizona State job's actually very appealing, to believe it or not. So I'll throw out another name. Crap, just drew a brain freeze. The Vikings, Mike Zimmer, the head coach of Minnesota, had a really good track record. You know what he's doing right now? He's coaching defensive backs with Deion Sanders at Jackson State. He's coaching defensive backs in Jackson State. So don't be surprised if he comes back into the NFL or if he takes a job at Arizona State or Wisconsin. Dude, Wisconsin's a great job. Jim Leonard, the interim coach at Wisconsin, for those of you who don't know, played in the NFL for a long time NFL defensive back coach. He was the guy that when Matt LaFleur took over at Green Bay, he just assumed Jim Leonard would come from the college ranks to be the defensive coordinator at Green Bay. And Jim Leonard said, no, I'm going to stay at Wisconsin. I'm good. I don't want to coach there. And so they were convinced that he was going to be the guy. So they didn't have a plan B. They went through 6 different guys. And then Joe Barry, who's now the defensive coordinator at Green Bay, he was like the 7th guy they interviewed because nobody wanted that job. It turned out to be they hit a home run. So you know what? That's a special Netflix I haven't watched yet. But Hutch reminded me a lot of Barnett, high motor, lots of power, but no technique. That's a guy I was convinced was going to be just a stud and just didn't pan out. Broke Reggie Wright's record at Tennessee. Yeah. Yeah. I love Herm, but yeah. Zimmerman and Deion ready to go to Auburn. Is Auburn? I didn't know Auburn was available. I've been saying this for a while. I think Deion's going to end up at Florida State sooner or later. I really do. I think he's going to go back home. And I think Florida State will work out a crazy deal where they pay the Southwest Athletic Conference like $2 million a year just for the rights for Deion or something. Like, don't be surprised if Florida State does something crazy. But anyway, Seattle at New Orleans. Seattle fresh off that impressive victory at Detroit. The Saints are a 5-point favorite, starting Andy Dalton. Mike, man, who do you like on this one?
Oh, man, I almost want to take the red rifle just for nostalgia. You know, Seattle, man, Hawks at Saints. Let me look at the injury report here.
All right, yeah, check the report.
Yeah, that's a tough man. At the Saints, gosh, my friend of mine will kick my butt if I don't take the Saints. Yeah, you know, Andy's not bad. I'm just looking at what they got going. They still got Ingram available. That's a tough one. Who's favored in that one?
The Saints are a 5-point favorite. Ingram's going to play. I don't know. I think Michael Thomas is a game time decision. Normally, I have normally I have the injury report down. I kind of was lazy.
I think he's out. Thomas is out. I don't think they're going to play him at all. I'm going to go with the Saints because I just don't trust. I know Geno's playing well. I don't trust him.
No, I
think I'm just a bitter Chiefs fan. Remember when the Chiefs fans were all like, draft Geno, we got to draft Geno.
Oh, God.
If we drafted Geno, we would never have Mahomes.
Seriously, for those of you who don't know, 2013, the Chiefs had the #1 pick in the draft. And
in the worst draft to have it in.
Absolutely. And the year before, it was Andrew Luck, #1 pick. The year before that, Cam Newton, #1 pick. And so this year, the Chiefs need a quarterback, and there's nobody available. And Mike will tell you it was like 85% of Kansas City was telling Andy Reid and the Chiefs organization, you have to draft Geno Smith. You have to draft Geno Smith. And I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a Geno Smith fan. He had this game against K-State, and Geno was a Heisman candidate. And Johnny Manziel won the Heisman that year, if I remember correctly. The quarterback from K-State had a phenomenal year. I think he actually went to New York, but he finished like third or fourth. Probably should have won Heisman. He outplayed like K-State went to Morgantown, and for those of you that don't know, it was like a night game at West Virginia is a big deal. It's an intimidating environment. K-State beat the shit out of him. And Geno Smith, ESPN normally doesn't do this, but they got a glimpse of him, and he was throwing a hissy fit. Like he was throwing stuff, like he was almost in tears. And I remember watching that and going, you can't draft this guy. Number one, he doesn't have the mental makeup to be a superstar quarterback. And remember in the draft, he didn't go till the second round. The Jets took him, I think it was 36. I could be wrong about that. But Mike will vouch for me that everybody wanted Geno Smith. I did not. I remember him throwing that hissy fit against K-State because it was supposed to be a good game. West Virginia had some NFL players at wide receiver. The coach, they had that air raid offense. It was fun to watch. K-State had I can't remember his name. I don't want to say he's Tim Tebow, but he was a guy who's like more of a running back than when he ended up being a 7th round pick and they tried using him as a fullback. That's to tell you the type of player he was at K-State. He was a quarterback, but ran the ball more than he threw. And anyway, it was entertaining to watch, but I digress. But I agree with Mike. I actually like the Saints a lot, and the over-under is a low number at 45. I know Geno had a big game against Detroit. I think their defense is that bad. I actually kind of like the under in this one. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Saints win. Mike, Tennessee at Washington. Washington's a 2-point home dog. I'd love to hear what you think about this one.
I hate the NFL. They've made it just too much parity. It's just like, oh, I like this about this team. I like this about this team. Oh, they're kind of evenly matched almost every game. The Titans at Commander, man, that's a tough one. Titans are banged up, but I'm not sold on the Commanders, although they're playing well. Wentz is playing really well, and they're at home. I got to go with the home team. When in doubt, go with the home team. I can't tell you what they're going to cover, though. Yeah. And we're
sorry, Mike.
there you are.
Difficulties. Yeah, I apologize.
Yeah.
On my end,
it's okay.
Black. So I have no idea what you see over there. So I am so sorry, guys. Hard to see him staying at Jackson State. City of Jackson is trash. So if you guys aren't aware, Deion Sanders took the job at Jackson State, and he's getting he's getting 4- and 5-star players to go to Jackson State, and Mike Zimmer is actually there also coaching in defensive backs. Now, for those of you who are familiar with Southwest Athletic Conference, I'm assuming most of you aren't. Their number one rival is Southern. Southern hired Hugh Jackson, and then Hugh Jackson brought in Art Broyles. He was the head coach at Baylor, led them to a top 10 team, and then he was involved in that Baylor sex scandal. Turned out to be he was innocent. Won like $50 million. So Southern brought him in to be the offensive coordinator, but because of all the backlash, he had to resign. He had to walk away from Southern. But Southern has Hugh Jackson. They're gearing up. But bottom line, it's going to be. I really firmly believe it's just a matter of time before Deion Sanders goes to a major program like Arizona State. I think he's just waiting. I think he's like. By the way, he's doing an A+ job in recruiting. They're winning. I think they went 9-1 last year. But anyway,
read his autobiography sometime. It's pretty interesting.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, he's a pretty interesting guy.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. Thomas is out. Kamara's questionable. Guess Dan disagrees with the Washington. So I have no idea. Mike, Tennessee at Washington. Washington's a 2-point favorite. So who do you like here, Mike?
I'm going to take the Commanders at home. They got some good quarterback play. They've been playing pretty decent. I'll take the Commanders.
Okay. This is kind of funny because I was telling Denver Gator I love Tennessee in this.
That's good.
Okay, here's the deal. Because I've been so ice cold in my picks, I should go against who I like and just take Washington. But
they got their backs against the wall. They're out firing.
Seriously. And next week we're gonna have Mike Talks Football. And I think it sounds great. A little MTF. All right. Next game, San Francisco at Carolina. Carolina's a 6.5-point home dog against San Francisco.
Yeah, Jimmy G, man, he's feeling it. He's back in the saddle. I like the Niners in that game.
I would never touch this game because you come off against a big performance on Monday night against the Rams. You travel 3 time zones. Now it is a late game. That's a plus. So I have a feeling like this could be like one of those weird fluky games where San Francisco doesn't show up because I'm not sold on San Francisco at all.
I'm not, but
yeah,
I got to go with my Italian brother from another mother.
Well, I get you. I have no idea what to think here, to be honest with you. The over-under is only 39. I don't know what the weather report's going to be, but I'm wondering if this is like one of those games or like a trap game for San Francisco, even though Carolina looks like a disaster. Next game, Dallas at LA. LA coming off that Monday night loss, 5.5-point favorite. Dallas comes down to over unders 42.5, a very low number. Man, Mike, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, the Rams aren't playing their best football right now. Dallas has been surprising everybody, which, I mean, Cooper Rush has been playing really well. That's been quite the surprise for me anyway. I didn't expect to see that at all.
Dallas has that type of team that if they run the ball and play good defense, that's one, but they want to do just the opposite. They want to throw the ball right to the field. And seriously, with Cooper Rush, I think they're playing better.
Yeah. No, they're playing good, a little more balanced, I think. You pay Zeke all that money and then they want to throw the ball around. It's like, no, you run Zeke into the ground when you're paying him like that.
No, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, so I don't get it. Jerry Jones is a fantastic businessman. I learned a lot down there about him, and how he has a piece of every vendor, everything that goes on at that stadium, every company they use. It's like he's a part owner of the companies they use. You recycle your money. Any good businessman does that. It was real interesting learning about the business side. Cowboys or Rams? I'm going to take the Rams. They're at home. They're less banged up. I'm going to take the Rams.
Well, one thing, if you haven't noticed about the Rams, when they lost week 1 against Buffalo, they came back on a tear the next couple of weeks. And San Francisco's had the Rams number, but not too many teams have the Rams number, and I don't think Dallas will either. This is a game I think we're finally going to see that Dallas isn't really that good of a team, and I think we're going to see the Rams are. I think this could be a big win for the Rams. Philly
the Rams aren't the same as they're not the same as the Super Bowl team. They've had lost some key players. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Oh yeah. I think it's a tough. I think the Rams. This is the week the Rams kind of prove. Keys. I can't vouch for. I've never met Deion Sanders. I really believe that he took the job at Jackson State because he actually really cares about the school and trying to build something. So any job that he gets, I think that the caveat's going to be that they have to donate a certain amount of money to the Southwest Athletic Conference or to Jackson State. And I think Florida State, because they're in that area and they have the money, they could do that. An SEC school would have to, like, the deal would have to be that you sign Deion Sanders to a crazy contract. You have to give him like $10 million a year. Then the next step would be that I think that you'd have to give like $1 or $2 million to either Jackson State or to the Southwest Athletic Conference. I think sooner or later somebody's going to make enough money for Deion Sanders to make the next step. But I think it's good. I think it's got to be a school in the South somewhere where that Southwest Athletic Conference is. So, yeah. Denver Gator and Mike like Washington. I really like Tennessee, and I've been ice cold. So, but Baker against I'm still not sold in San Francisco. I just have a feeling that's a type of game that's that kind of a trap game for San Francisco. Like, you beat the Rams, you overlook Carolina, and Carolina's got some players, and you never know. You never know. I mean, CMC's as good as it gets, but he always gets hurt. Philly at Arizona. Arizona's a 5.5-point home dog. Mike, is this the week Philly loses, gets off the ranks of the unbeaten? Are the 72 Dolphins popping champagne this week?
Nah, I think they handle the Cardinals pretty easily. I'm not sold on the Cardinals at all.
Yeah, I've been saying I think Philly's just, the scary thing about Philly is that this is a team that's built for the playoffs. Good defense, good running game, and a quarterback who's an MVP candidate. I said this. Well. I mean, he's playing lights out. I mean, if he continues at this pace this offseason, he's going to make a lot of money. I mean, brings money. I like Philly to roll in this one. It bothers me because it's at Arizona, it's in the desert, but I like Philly in this one. Sunday Night Football, Cincinnati at Baltimore. Baltimore's a 3-point home favorite. Mike, the Bengals are they coming back as the team in the AFC here?
No, I you know what? I think. No, Lamar's playing really well too. He's up and he is making a good case for another MVP. He really is feeling it. He wants to win. He wants to win bad. I'm gonna take Lamar home.
Yeah, I like Baltimore in this one. I know that they're banged up, but they're also getting last week J.K. Dobbins played, but they kept him like on a snap count, if I'm correct, because I don't think he played in the fourth quarter at all. I think he's going to play the whole game. I really think that both Baltimore and Pittsburgh, who were swept by Cincinnati last year, they have this game. This is a Sunday night prime. Baltimore's an underrated home field advantage. Yeah, and I think that they're going to be ready. I haven't checked the injury report yet, but I really like Baltimore in this one. I think this is the game that they've been like, and Burrow's getting the crap kicked out of him every week. I mean,
What is with that? They redid that offensive line, tried to give him some good protection, and it's been an abject failure.
Well, they got 4 new starters. None of them were big names. And then 3 of them got hurt in preseason. And I tried telling people, like, you got to watch out for Cincinnati. Oh, no, they improved better. Look at all these additions.
You were saying that. Expect the downfall. Yeah. No, you were right on that.
Yeah, and I'm sticking with it here. I think Baltimore wins this game. I
think so, too.
Me and Denver Gator, we were talking. It was at 3.5. It's now 3. I would not take 3.5 if I was betting on Baltimore, but 3, yeah. Right now it's 3. It's 3 Denver Gator. This is a keys. This is a great question, Dan. Where do I see
Oh yeah.
a signing? You know what? Off the top of my head, I don't have an exact place, but if you had to give me the number one team, it would be the two teams we were just talking about. I think the Rams would be number one, but it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in Dallas. That makes a lot of sense, and the reason why is that the other receiver Gallup's been banged up.
CeCe Lamb's banged up.
I just this to me is a Jerry Jones move. So
Yes.
I'm going to give you two teams here. I think it's the Rams, and I think Dallas is a strong case. There's, by the way, Keith, hopefully you didn't see the same jackass who says that, the Chiefs have to sign OBJ. OBJ doesn't make sense in Kansas City. Doesn't make sense.
Not at all.
No.
They don't want that kind of locker room.
No. I mean, I can go in so much detail. I kind of want to wrap things up, but definitely not in Kansas City. The Rams would be probably number one, but Dallas to me, I think really makes a lot of sense.
Jerry Jones. Yeah, totally.
Philly, my lock. Yeah, Denver Gator. I haven't released that video yet that we made, but he loves Philly. Philly and is and let me see here. Is there any other games? Did we go over all the games?
I think there's something Monday night.
I'm
trying to think who's playing in that game.
Playing Monday night.
Oh, hold on a second. Let me talk to Buddy. Buddy will tell me. Come here, Buddy. What? Oh, you know who's going to play.
Oh,
Chiefs Raiders, baby. You excited, buddy?
I know. It's funny because it's Chiefs Raiders, and I'm wearing black, and Mike's wearing red. But I'm going to wear my Chiefs shirt for Monday. I'm going over to my dad, so I'm.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because So what the deal is that maintenance came over 2 nights ago to fix my dryer. They pull it out. The guy goes, pull everything out of that little cubby hole, and I'll be right back. And that was 48 hours ago. So I can't use my dryer, and because he's going to be right back, and I don't think he's coming over Saturday. So yeah, I have some issues with my apartment complex right now, but yeah, Chiefs Raiders. Chiefs are a 7-point favorite. I am not putting action on this one because I've been burnt in the past. I also fear the Raiders, so I feel like I'm jinxing. By the way, last time I picked the Chiefs money line was against the Colts, so you can blame that on me. But also, I can't do in-game betting because I'm going to be watching this game with my dad in Missouri, which doesn't have sports betting as of yet.
Well, too, you've been burned. We've been burned as Chiefs fans because Raiders Chiefs generally can get kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the records are.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a grudge match from the 60s and all the baggage of the last. Doesn't matter that Al Davis is gone. Doesn't matter Lamar's gone. God rest their souls. It's a grudge match every single time.
Oh, man, I couldn't have said it better. This is just a good game to watch.
Yeah. Always fun.
I have an opinion on the game. I want to hear from you. Are you picking the Raiders?
No. Even though I have Devontae on one of my fantasy teams, I got Higgins. So I want him to do well, just not that well. No, I never picked the Raiders. But I like Carr. I like the kid. Mm-hmm. But I got to take the Chiefs at home always. But I expect a good game because usually those games are either really funky or kind of a blowout, where one team just doesn't seem to show up. So it'll be fun. Whatever it is, it'll be fun.
Absolutely. From a betting perspective, I would not recommend, a touchdown Chiefs favorite. You never know. But the one bet, if I was going to bet on this one, the over/under is 51. The Chiefs Raiders the last couple of years have been a high scoring game. And this is a game, even in a blowout, both teams are capable of scoring garbage touchdowns. The Raiders have had some success at Arrowhead Stadium. I do think the Raiders are the biggest threat to the Chiefs in AFC West. I think this is going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. But I really think that look what the Chiefs offense did against a Tampa Bay defense that I think is better.
Right. And that's a good point of high scoring, because you'll get those games where it seems like the defenses don't show up with these two, and they just want to go at it hard. The Raiders are 1-3. Their backs are against the wall.
They're back big time against the wall. If you could, and by the way, this is advanced betting. I'm going on Barstool. I didn't look at this before, but you can actually, the number total points by the Kansas City Chiefs is 29.5. That's a major number. I did not expect it to be that high. I'd almost take Kansas City, and the reason why is that I really would not be surprised if Kansas City puts up over 40. I would not be surprised if 40. I'm not saying this to be facetious. They put up 41 against a much better defense. I think the Raiders are going to get turned around. I hope it's not this week, but I think Kansas City. If you're going to bet on this game, take the over. I'm serious. Take for the Chiefs offense. That was not a fluke against Tampa Bay. That was not a fluke at all. Dan, our Chiefs, absolutely no.
Yes and no. They expected him to. They knew this was going to be a possibility. They're missing his big playability to where he could take something and turn it that was nothing, a short slant and then just go to the house. Yeah, you missed that element, but overall, nah, they're doing fine.
No, and you may have seen, Cliff, you may have seen some stats like the Chiefs receivers are like the worst in the league, or the Chiefs receivers aren't doing very well. And here's the problem. I should have had this pulled up. I didn't do this before the show, but when they point those numbers out, they conveniently leave off the most important numbers. And hold on here, I should have had this pulled up ready to go. They conveniently leave off the most important number, and that's 26 receptions, 322 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And that's what you get from Travis Kelce, who's a tight end. And so when they talk about the receivers and it's not doing well, blah, 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 they leave off number 87 all the time. And he's playing just fine. He's playing just fine.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And we have an all new receiver core. I mean, it's going to take time to be your 3-1 with entirely new receiver core, except for Hardman. It takes time to build that chemistry. He starts trusting everybody perfectly, getting on the same page. I mean, look at Devontae Adams and Carr. That's a perfect example. And they played together in college, and they still can't get on the same page yet. So Mahomes is doing it with almost entirely new crew of receivers. So yeah, they always leave Kelce out. If you can't Kelce in, they're doing just fine. Running game's improved. Pacheco he's the first angry runner we've had since Kareem Hunt. I love how the kid plays. He's hard nosed. It reminds me of Kareem a lot.
The Chiefs offense is just going to be an amazing offense. So I like a high scoring game. My gut reaction is, Chiefs win by double digits, but I've been ice cold. But if I had to pick a bet, I'd take the over. I do like the Chiefs to win. I'm going to get through some of these comments, and then I know Mike has to get out of here. By the way, Mike, thank you so much for joining me. I love having you here.
Love it, man.
You add something to the show. I'm going to get through these comments, but by the way, if you guys haven't already, give me a thumbs up. No comments about Mike Talks Football. That we're going to keep the same name. It sounds great. MTF. It sounds great. Keys has a great point as far as the other OBJ, Orlando Brown Jr. Can he get anyone to match Brett Veach's offer from this season, next season without drastic improvement? I actually think he could, and the reason why is that you're seeing the amount of offensive tackles that are falling down in the NFL. I'll give you New York Jets. They're on their fourth left tackle, and I think the Jets would offer the same exact thing. He struggled a little bit, but the answer is yes. That's a situation going into next year that's going to be a tough one because the Chiefs, can they afford to pay him? Do they want to pay him? Who's available? I can tell you this, that you can't. People think you could just draft a left tackle, put him in this offense, and he'll be fine. It's not that simple. It's really not that simple. And the plan was actually, I'll try not to rant too long. Lucas Nang from a couple of years ago, the plan was to have him play at right tackle. They're going to move on from Eric Fisher, have Nang go from right tackle to left tackle. He hasn't been healthy. And when he has played, he doesn't look like he's a left tackle. He looks like he's a solid right tackle. That's a tough situation. Can anyone match the contract? Yes. And I think the Jets would do that. I really do. I think the Jets would be a team that would pay Orlando Brown whatever he wants. And I would like to see him stay in Kansas City. But what did he want? Like $25 million a year? Do you remember, Mike?
Yeah, it's only $25 million. He has not played well this season. So for a contract year like Hardman, they are not balling out for that new contract. I'm tempted. I know the best way isn't always draft a guy and start him at left tackle, but I would be tempted to tag and trade. I'm not convinced he's a long-term solution.
Tag and trade's a smart move. By the way, Thursday Night Football, Bernard Rainman, third-round pick out of Central Michigan, he started at left tackle against Denver. He made some mistakes, but he didn't play bad. I mean, he really didn't play bad. But the left tackle, that's going to be the biggest story because Miracle Hardman, he wants to get paid like a legit number one guy. He's not. He's gone.
He's going to be back here. They need to put him on punt returns.
Why don't they do that? I don't know.
He's not doing anything as a wide receiver.
No, I know, and I don't get it either. So
I want to see Sky on offense, Hardman on special teams.
I do too. I 100% agree. Yeah, and the bottom line, if you're Hardman, this is your chance as a punt kick returner. This is where you make your money. Get a highlight reel 86-yard punt return for a touchdown and parlay that in the next year. By the way, here's a bold take. Yeah, here's a bold prediction. Buffalo signs into big money next year. Miracle Hardman.
Oh, yeah. That would give them an element they don't have. Yeah.
Yeah, some scrubs are playing. Those of you who don't know, Funk's a hardcore Chiefs fan. So Monday is the upset of the week. So, yes.
Bite your tongue. I won't sing Katy Perry for you.
Detroit Gator, I'll let that slide because your heart is broken of your 40. Crosby and Jones against Brown and Wiley is the key. You're 100%.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right. And Wiley, I'll be honest, Wiley hasn't played terrible at right tackle. He really hasn't. And he, by the way, he's a guy that after the season's over, he may end up getting some good money. And I haven't been paying attention. I don't know when Ning's coming back, but I mean, that was the Chiefs' plan, is to have Ning to go over on the left side. But I think that they want to move on from Ning. Wiley may be a tough spot. OBJ is going to be tough. And then here's another issue, is that you have to figure out a way to pay Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith. How do you pay Trey Smith? I mean, he's a 6th-round pick making, by NFL standards below minimum wage. He's going to want a lot of money sooner or later.
Yeah, he's playing way above his draft position. Him and Creed are both just ridiculous.
No, Humphrey's going to get paid. I think Trey Smith may have to move on. And do the refs watch Brown for false starts and holds closely? And that's something Brown is famous for, is the false starts and holding. And bottom line, the reason why he was so dominant in Baltimore is because he's a guy that listen, when you're 6'8", 350, it's better if you have him run blocking than pass blocking. I mean, and so bringing him to Kansas City, I thought he's played well, but is he going to get the big time money he wants in Kansas City? That's going to be a tough one.
He's not looked as good this year.
Now, how many drops did Green Bay's rookies have this week? I guess. Yeah, and it's got to get turned out, man. Chiefs are first in EPA drive, first in points drive, second in points per game, third in success rate. Bottom line, the Chiefs do not miss Tyreek Hill. They missed the big play chance. They missed the short play because they were really hoping Hardman would turn into that guy. He's not. He never is going to be. No, by the way, this sounds terrible. Nobody likes this at all. Mike talks football. So I actually
and Hardman's still dealing with the heel issue.
Yeah.
So he's not on the injury reports, but his heel is bothering him, so he's not comfortable either.
Yeah, and he's I still think that Mike's 100% correct. Put him back at special teams, have him return punts and kicks, and take Sky Moore off special teams. He doesn't look comfortable. He didn't do it in college.
And you're wasting his talent. He needs to be on offense. And when he's the few plays we've seen of him on offense, kid looks good.
Yeah.
Get him and Mahomes.
He's a guy, if you play fantasy football, I think next year could have a big year. So
the old rule of thumb in fantasy was third-year wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 years rough, third year's when they come into their own. And that's that guy's in his third year, I'm drafting him.
Yeah. If you do like was it a dynasty league where you can hold them, that's a guy I would consider trying to make a move for if you can keep him. So Mike talks football coming soon.
Sure. Stop.
The Lions offense, the Lions easily have the most exciting team in the NFL. 31-7, 10 minutes left in the game. You have no idea what's going to happen. You have no idea. Lions could have 7. Lions could have 7, and they're still a threat to win. They could be up 31-7 with 10 minutes left and could lose. It's coin flip. Most exciting team in the NFL. Shia kept. I have no idea what that is.
I'm afraid at this point. I'm afraid to ask.
All right. Also, first, Mahomes is playing lights out.
He's
I'm a homer, obviously, but when Tony Kornheiser and Mike Wilbon from PTI called Mahomes the best player in football, I feel more justified in saying it. I think Mahomes is the best player in the NFL. Michael Jordan didn't win MVP every year. All right. But is there a better coach? No, there's not.
I think if they had won that Super Bowl, the second one, it would be no question right now.
Yeah. I still think he's the best one in the NFL. But am I biased? Yeah.
Oh yeah, we are totally.
Yeah. Okay. Let me do this here. The best quarterback's Mahomes. I would probably put today, right now, MVP Jalen Hurts.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah, but I mean, which one do I want playing in the playoffs? I want Mahomes.
Mahomes.
Yeah. When it's time to pay Creed and Trey, cutting Thuney is going to pay for one, hopefully salary cap bump. Yeah. So what Keys is saying is that they'll probably cut Thuney so they can pay Trey and pay Creed. I think you're partially right. I think that they're going to cut Thuney, pay Creed, and Trey Smith will have to leave. Because I think Trey Smith is going to get like a crazy high contract from somebody. And another thing, if I'm Trey Smith, I may want to go to a team that runs the ball a little more, a team like Tennessee or Baltimore, because that's really his strong suit. And me and you talked about it, Keys, as the Chiefs offense struggled because they don't use the screen game because they got bigger, more physical offensive linemen in there instead of the smaller, more nimble, athletic offensive linemen. The answer is yes. So it wouldn't surprise me if Thuney's gone, Humphrey gets paid, but I think Trey Smith will go, and I love Trey Smith. He's one of my favorite players.
Oh, yeah.
I love this guy.
Thuney definitely. He's the oldest one. They're not going to pay him big money.
No, the way I believe the way Thuney's contract set up is after year 3, you can cut him with minimal losses, and he's a guy. Unfortunately, the way the contracts are, you can't pay everybody, and
Right.
Humphrey's going to get big time money, and I think Trey will get big time money too, but not in Kansas City. That's kind of
Yeah, I could see that happening. I hope not, but yeah, I could see it.
Well, if I had a name, I'd build. I didn't even think about that. Sky was a guy I wanted to see in that Kansas City offense. Yeah, you were, and
We've seen him a little.
It's seriously, it's just a matter of time. After this year, when they move on from Miracle Hardman, you'll see a lot more Sky Moore, and it's really just a matter of time for I think Juju Smith-Schuster becomes the number 1 guy. Like he was banged preseason. He's like a guy. I had no idea he was that big. Like he looks like he's tight end big. Like that's a big dude, but I think that he'll be number 1. I think Sky Moore will be number 2. Of course, Travis Kelce's always the number 1 wide receiver in Kansas City. So,
well, the Chiefs definitely went bigger at all the wide receivers. They changed their philosophy on wide receivers in the offseason, went bigger. Guys that can break through, jammed at the line easier, bigger bodies. Sky Moore, we're only 4 games into the season. Give it by halfway through the season, especially after the bye week. I think you see a lot more Sky Moore.
I'm actually surprised to see that Sky Moore's been following the same rookie snap value as Tyreek. Well, okay. That's a little misleading, and the reason why I say that is because when Tyreek Hill was a rookie, he was a former running back. He was just learning to play wide receiver. So when they brought him in, like they're like, okay, we're going to use you, because remember he also returned punts and kicks. All right, so I don't know if the snap volume count comes in or not, but when they brought him in as a rookie, they had plays designed for Tyreek Hill. They're not doing that with Sky Moore. Like when Sky Moore comes in, he's just a part of the offense. Where Tyreek Hill was coming in, it was like, okay, here's our special Tyreek Hill package. And the offense, remember, under Alex Smith was a ball control offense. The offense is completely different with Patrick Mahomes. They're not like under Alex Smith, the Chiefs are like, we're going to score 24 points a game. We're going to eat up the clock. Watch any Alex Smith play, and the play clock always, except for the 4th quarter when they're trying to come back from behind, always went down to under 5 seconds. Every single play. And it was by design. It was a good thing if Kansas City took 6-7 minutes and kicked a field goal. The first couple of years, Kansas City Chiefs had one of the top scoring defenses in the NFL. By the way, Chiefs defense looks really good. No, it's true. It's true.
I know, but it was a bad defense. Players were always confused, out of position. It was a fluke. Watch Alex's last year here when Mahomes was redshirting, and that's more closer to what the offense is now than it was previously before Mahomes got here. They ball controlled a lot more.
Yeah, the Chiefs were a heavy ball control offense. So when they put Tyreek Hill in there, they were trying to get that big explosive play. Like when Tyreek Hill entered the game, they were like, okay, well, Tyreek Hill getting the ball in the end around. We're going to do a screen pass to Tyreek Hill. So that number is a little misleading. With Sky Moore, they're not doing the same thing. But I think that year 2, you're going to see Sky Moore production just really go up. Lions are scoring 35 a game. Fun to watch. Yeah. Most exciting team yet, the Detroit Lions right now. Sheil Capita is a stat source, writes for the Ringer. I'm not familiar with them. I'm always weary about like things like PFF or this particular individual, because sometimes the numbers aren't really accurate. Sometimes people get so involved in analytics they don't see the forest for the trees. And a lot of times the stats are misleading. I know with PFF, I'm going to rant too much, but PFF, the numbers aren't accurate. All right, they can say, oh, our analytics. Remember 3 years ago they had Tannehill's the best quarterback in the NFL, and it's like, well, we're not saying he's the best; he's our number one in our ratings. Well, what the fuck are the ratings for then? If number one's not the best, then what the fuck are you doing? And there was like 15 quarterbacks better than Tannehill. That was the year that they went 9-7 and advanced to the AFC Championship game. Tannehill had some good games, but yeah.
Football Outsiders is a lot better. And you know who's good with stats in statistical analysis? That's Cynthia Freeland on NFL Network. I thought she was just on there because she's a pretty face. She has degrees in statistics, all kinds of stuff. That she's impressive.
She really is. I don't always I DVR it. I don't always watch it. I don't think it's like the best source, but Good Morning Football is pretty good.
No, not without Kay Adams. It's not as good.
The other girl they got, I actually like. I like her, but she's
fine, but she's not Kay.
Why did she leave? I was always curious about that. I have no idea.
Well, and then they brought Rachel Bonetta over from ESPN, and I thought she was going to be the new Kay, and I thought her personality fit a lot better on that show, and they didn't go with her. I was disappointed.
This is good. You think Sky is special? Detroit Gator.
That is good. Dude.
Hey, Detroit Gator. Can we get a new logo next week? Can we get a new logo? Can we get a true? This is also good. True stat: 70% of stats are made up. I don't want to talk too much because I despise them, but PFF, their analytics and their stats, it's not accurate. It's really not accurate. So when people bring up stats, a lot of times forget the stats. Watch a game. Okay, like Mahomes. All right, his stats against Tampa Bay wasn't that good. Watch the game where he does that spin around and flips the ball in the end zone. You know what that looks like on the stat sheet? 2-yard touchdown pass. That's what it is on the stat sheet. It's a 2-yard touchdown pass. Watch the play. Watch the play. And did he do a circle? Was it he did a twist? Was it either
he was getting hit, did the spin, does the alley-oop, and if you look at the screenshots, CEH is totally covered. He's getting manhandled, somehow breaks free while Mahomes is doing his pirouette. And yeah, it was just, you know what it reminds me of is the Super Bowl play. Now, it was an incomplete pass, but the Super Bowl we lost against Tampa, remember that play where Mahomes is horizontal in the air, throwing a dime to, I believe it was Niall Davis.
Yeah.
Was it Niall Davis? Who was it? Or was it?
It was the running back. It was 26.
Yeah, and he throws a dime to him and he drops it, but Mahomes is horizontal in the air and throwing that pass. And it was the most impressive play of the game. It was an incomplete pass.
Yeah, and
now what you say though about the eye test is the same thing I was always say when we had what's his name coaching the defense. They didn't pass the eye test. I don't care what the stats said about the scoring. They did not pass the eye test.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Bob Sutton
Bob Sutton,
who did a decent job his first couple of years in Kansas City. For those of you who don't know, him and Mike Buffa got in a fist fight.
I would have whooped him.
And Buffa,
I would have fired him. I always said this. I turned to Terry. I was like, when they lost that playoff game in Indianapolis, I said, I would even let him get on the plane. Like, you're done. We'll pack your office up and ship it to you.
For those of you who don't know, second worst loss in Chiefs playoff history. In that game, the Chiefs had 6 starters leave the game with injury. Jamal Charles, it was like second or third play, had a concussion.
They were headhunting him.
Yeah. Niall Davis, second quarter, he goes out. Brandon Flowers was out. Houston, but these guys left the game with injuries. It was not Jamal Charles, Brandon Flowers, Justin Houston went out. There was like 6 different. So they're up 38-10 in the third. Actually, it scores 31-10. Andrew Luck throws a pick six, like 2 minutes into the third quarter. So it's 38-10. I'm excited. I got it locked up as a win. Andrew Luck, phenomenal performance. But it was like six players are got injured. That any one of them are healthy. Chiefs win that game. It was just beyond fluky.
Well, Indianapolis was headhunting Jamal. They wanted to concuss him.
It was seriously. It was like the third play of the game. He went out with a concussion.
If you watch how they were tackling him, they were trying to knock him out.
It was a nasty concussion. Like you knew immediately. Yeah. Like it was really, really bad. People overlook the fact analytics are based off. This is key because you have to realize, like, a blocking scheme, it may look like a player made the right block, but in reality, like, he didn't. Like, he was supposed to double team, and instead he, blocked the guy coming off the edge, and it looks like it was a great play. But in reality, he was supposed to double team, and the guy was supposed to come in free. There's so many things that you just don't know. And that's the reason why I hate PFF. So I could go on a rant about everything that's wrong with PFF, but I kind of want to wrap this up. I know Mike wants to get out. He's got a big plan. He's got a big party this weekend. And by the way, Mike, me after, well, we'll talk about this after the show, but we're going to get together. I finally get to hang out with Mike. So
the whole crew, hopefully.
Well, yeah. It may be too late for Chad. I think he goes to bed at 8. So I don't know.
But he's already ready. Well, you need to check the time with him. Since
we do. Well, I told him either 1 or 2. So, like, for those Chad, for those of you who don't know, our buddy Chad, he wakes up at 4 a.m. every morning. So, like, he does 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, eats 3 chili dogs. And
Marines, what do you want?
I seriously, I could so many things, but you have to realize, like, a lot of times you just got to watch the game. You got to watch it. Like, if you want to, like, if you don't think Mahomes is a top 5 quarterback, you're just looking off numbers. Yeah, the pirouette. It was either Shaquille Barrett or Levante David or Devin White. I mean, it's a Pro Bowl defensive player, and Mahomes is not even a mobile quarterback. A lot of people use the word mobile quarterback when he's not. He's a passer, but I mean, he does this pirouette of a Pro Bowl defender, and then it's just an alley-oop. I mean, it goes down as a 2-yard touchdown pass. But if you watch it, there's so many things that you can see that do that. Who else makes that play? Who else makes that play?
It's not like they count broken tackles in that play.
I mean, it's just ridiculous. And what the funny thing is, the play, and again, me and Andy Reid didn't talk after the game, but the play was supposed to go to Hardman. I'm sorry. Okay. The play was actually supposed to go to CEH, and CEH was getting manhandled. And so what did he do? He went to his other read.
Oh, that's right.
He went to Miracle Hardman, who was not the main read. And by the way, that was something that Broncos fans were up in the air about, because Russell Wilson couldn't go from left to right, where that's the one thing Patrick Mahomes is really, really good at. So
what was with that? He focused on one receiver in that situation and didn't go, oh, that doesn't look good.
All right. I'm going to offer two different points of view. Number one, and this was also the thing that happened in the Super Bowl, where it's a one read option, where you have a play, it's one read, and you just throw it to that read, have the guy make the play, get a call. And by the way, at home, getting a pass interference call is much better than trying to get a pass interference call. There are a couple plays in the NFL that are designed where if the receiver's covered, you throw it to him anyway. All right. Yeah. And you hope to get a call. And so that could be it. The other one is that Russell Wilson didn't go through progressions. And by the way, if you go through Russell Wilson's career, he's never been good at that. He's never been good at that. Even when he has good statistical days, it's because his receivers make good plays, because he makes a good pass. But Russell Wilson's never been a guy to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go back to number 3. He's never, ever been that guy. Drew Brees is maybe, I think, the best at doing that. Brady's phenomenal. Mahomes is amazing. Aaron Rodgers is better than that than maybe anybody in NFL history. I just said Brees was, but I mean, I think you're getting my you're getting my point. So I have no idea. But the Andy Reid, that touchdown we're talking about, I believe the play was designed to go to CEH, and Mahomes like, well, he's covered. I'm gonna throw it to the other guy. And then, if you PFF, well, that's a 2-yard touchdown. That's a C+ grade, No, but I mean, watch it.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah. Dan knows about stats.
It works every time. That is such
Great
a great
movie. Great movie. Oh, by the way, the movie Don't Look Up, Adam McKay is the director. I think he did Step Brothers and Anchorman and a bunch of other movies. But Don't Look Up on Netflix, amazing movie. I could rant too, like how a pick six is a negative 1.5 and a sack is -2, just being given up. Oh, dude. Yeah. Seriously, there's so many things. I thought about doing a video about everything that's wrong with PFF, but I don't know if I'd get in trouble or not.
Nah.
Based on if you look at by the way, if you watch the whole play, it's very. By the way, okay, you're going against 300-pound athletes that are moving faster than any human being should move. So by doing this, it's a lot easier saying do. But if you look at an NFL progression chart, usually it goes usually because your right hand. Oh God, okay, I'm gonna try to keep it short. Usually you go left to right. Sometimes you go right to left. It depends on the play, but it's basically like 1, 2, 3, and from after 3, there's usually like an outlet. I've been saying for years, like Justin Fields, just have him go 1, 2 and run. But basically it's like 1, 2, and 3. Russell Wilson's never been good at doing that. That's never been his strength. But based on the coverage, it was an easy 1, 2, 3 and touchdown. They win the game. Keep in mind
the first down.
Yeah, I mean, keep in mind, guys are moving faster than they got any right to do. I mean, seriously. And by the way, the game on TV is so much slower than it is in real life. Again, you're going to be in Hall of Fame someday. You gotta make that. And by the way, Hackett, that might be a call where Hackett says, throw it there. I don't care. And there's a lot of NFL plays like that.
Yeah. But the click slant is such an easy play in the NFL for NFL quarterback hit that quick because you needed what, 1 yard for a first down? Boom. That was bizarre. Yeah, Hackett can't hack it apparently.
No, and seriously, as soon as the season ends, actually Black Monday, I do a Black Monday special. When Black Monday ends, yeah. I hope, man. It's several months in advance, but if you want to come on Black Monday, I do a Black Monday special. When Black Monday hits, the Sean Payton sweepstakes are going to open up. I'm telling you that right now.
Time.
And I'm really beginning to think that Denver may be entering the Sean Payton sweepstakes. I mean, it's rare that a team just takes a first-year head coach and says, "Now we're good," but this may be one of them. I don't understand these feelings inside.
Yeah, I've never felt that.
I
can't say I understand.
I played enough Madden to know how to ignore the number 1 read based on coverage.
Yeah.
By the way, he's fucking around because too many people play Madden and don't understand But I didn't like the play to begin with. If he crossed from the left, Ross running out to the right, he didn't. Yeah. And by the way, I tried telling Broncos fans
that makes a lot more sense.
that it's not gonna go the way you think it's gonna go. They seriously, I was in Colorado this summer. They really thought that Super Bowl. They thought that it was going to be the same thing that when Manning arrived, and it's like it's not the same thing. Manning
not the same.
Like Manning fit a hand into the glove. This was not even close because you got a first-time head coach, a first-time offensive coordinator, a first-time defensive coordinator. You're changing schemes. You're bringing in new players. You have a whole right tackle you just ignored. Now your stud left tackle's out for the year. I all off season you're worried about Randy Gregory, who by the way didn't play. And who predicted correctly that he would miss some time with injuries, maybe because he's never played more than 12 games in an NFL season before, and then you sign him $70 million. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I was serious about playing enough Madden to know better joking about Madden equals real life. Yeah. Keys, this is going to sound like an insult. It's not meant to be, but anytime I hear somebody say I play a lot of Madden, I mentally think to myself, I really don't know football. So that's not meant to be an insult, but
you do go through your reads on Madden. I mean, you do
that. You do. I get it, but I get it. But when people try to tell me I play a lot of Madden, the first thing I mentally hear is
right.
I hear to myself that yeah. Thanks for reminding me how Manning didn't even. Oh yes. By the way, the Chiefs were very interested in Manning, and he had no interest in Kansas City. None. Yeah, and then also if you remember, they also signed Emmanuel Sanders, who was signed with Kansas City. They had a verbal agreement with the manager, with his agent. They had a deal with his agent locked into play. And then what they did is they went to Denver and they said, well, here's the deal. We got locked in with Kansas City. Can you beat it or match? I think it was match or beat. And they're like, well, we can beat it by, I think it was like $1 million or something. And so anyway, what happened is, and that was a big story when Manning signed Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah. Because what happened was that agent actually got in a lot of trouble. Like the Chiefs refused to do any deals with that guy. And then like a year or two later, Emmanuel Sanders had to part ways with the agent. So, yeah. I never played 2K. I never played
2K was the bomb.
Really?
2K played faster. It was more realistic looking. Oh, back in the day, 2K was
I never played 2K. You know what I played like a crack whore was NCAA. I used to buy a new game every single year that it came out. Like right when it came out, I played that game like a crackhead. I thought NCAA beat Madden. I loved it. You had 125 different stadiums, 125 different playbooks. Then you had your own variation. I thought NCAA, I loved NCAA. Like I played that like a crackhead. I never played 2K. Not a Madden fan. Not a Madden fan, but
2K was great. It was better than Madden, although this year's Madden is the best one in years. And
really?
If you want a good football game that's really fun, easy to play, has a little bit of team management, front office stuff, check out Retro Bowl on Switch, iOS. I believe it's on Android too. I'm in my 29th or 30th season with the Chiefs. On extreme difficulty. It is a blast. It's so addictive. I love that game.
It's basically, for those of you who remember, it's kind of like Techno Bowl, which I used to play like
Tecmo.
I used to play. Yeah. We used to play Tech. I remember I came home at 3 a.m. and my dad was waiting for me, and he was just. I'm still scared of my dad. I just turned 48, and I'm still scared of my dad. That's the type of guy he is. Vietnam vet, just So anyway. And I said, Dad, I know you're not going to believe me. We were playing Techno Bowl. And I don't know how he can still do this. He can look at me and he can tell if I'm lying or telling the truth. And he said, okay, just go to bed. And, he wasn't happy, but he believed me. I thought, I mean, you know how it is. You're 18, 19, whatever. You come home at 3 a.m. God knows, what I did. But he just looked at me. He knew. And by the way, yes, I'm fully aware NCAA is coming back. So what it is that it's coming back, but it's apparently only coming to like the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox that's coming out.
So the new generation, the current.
Yeah, that's the word I was trying to look. Yeah, and I'm not buying that shit. I have an Xbox One that's possessed. Like it'll be off, and then like the fan will come on randomly. So I'm convinced it's possessed. And I have an Xbox 360 behind me that I absolutely love. I love the Xbox 360. So
the Retro Bowl is very much like Tech Mode, but you have a little bit of front office. You have a 3-round draft. You have a salary cap. You can hire and fire coaches. You have free agents. So there's a little bit of management. You have to maintain your stadium, your training facilities, your rehab facilities. Check it out. Highly recommend it if you like football.
Seriously, if it comes to like the Xbox One, that my Xbox One is possessed, I will buy it, but I'm not buying a PlayStation 5 or a it's by the way, it's coming out like 2024, but the original one I have on my Xbox 360. I still play it from time to time. You can download the current rosters. So like you could play you could play Alabama with I can never remember his name. CJ Stroud with Ohio State. Like you can. Yeah. So like you can download CJ Stroud playing for Ohio State or whoever the quarterback is for Alabama. I can never remember his name. AR-15. Oh, he doesn't want to be called that anymore. But Anthony Richardson. Yeah, you can download the current rosters. But yeah. So so on that note, I am going to sign out. Guys, listen, if you haven't already, give me the thumbs up. Please like the video. If everybody here is a regular, so you should be subscribed. Share it. I'm almost at 800. It would mean the world to me. After the show's over, drop a comment below. It really helps the algorithm. Mike talks football. Anything else before you get out of here, man?
No, man, it's always good. I love you guys. It's a great conversation. Appreciate all the questions and comments. You guys are why we do the show. It's a lot of fun. We love talking to you. Can't wait to be here again and talk to you guys.
All right. So in that case, we are out. Guys, I'll see everybody back Wednesday.